My naam is Willem van der Merwe van RMD. Het is 'n voorreg om GOSA toe te spreek en dankie vir die geleentheid. As jy wil hê, ek moet gou vir Paul voorstel. Hy het 'n internasionale maatskappy, hy is ex-Cargill, ex-Dreyfus, vir alle olie en palmolie trader uit die ooste. En hy het 'n program begin om basies kopers en verkopers aan die fisiese kant makliker en eenvoudiger by mekaar te kom. Hulle het laas jaar in Oktober kontak gemaak met my en RMD om te hoor hoe ons die Match Exchange, wat in Suid-Afrika RMD physical genoem word, uit te rol. En dis rofweg die agtergrond daarop. En ja, ek dink Paul sal, ek gaan basies net 'n agtergrond gee en wat ek glo die voordele is, en dan gaan Paul die stelsel meer op 'n praktiese wyse demonstreer, en dan sal ek en hy albei beskikbaar wees vir vrae en antwoorde na die tyd. En ek gaan Afrikaans praat, Paul in Engels, maar as daar enige van die intekenare en mense wat nou luister, wil hê ek moet iets in Engels herhaal, vra my net, ek sal dit graag wil doen. So ek gaan afskop daar. Ek glo Suid-Afrika het die beste lewerbare futures mark vir sagte kommoditeite in die wêreld. En dis interessant, as ek die voorbeeld van Australië vat, Argentinië, Brazil, Europa, selfs Amerika. Ons het 'n ongelooflike goeie stelsel in die JSE IPD afdeling. Maar waar ek dink ons tekort skiet op hierdie stadium, is ons benodige onafhanklike komplementêre elektroniese platform, waarop alle kommoditeite verhandel kan word. En nie net die huidiges wat op die oomblik op die IPD platform by die JSE is nie. Wat RMD Physical verskaf, is 'n opwindende, deursigtige nuwe markmeganisme wat 'n baie groter teikenmark vir beide kopers en verkopers bymekaar gaan uitbring. En 'n tendens wat ek opmerk is dat mens deesdae in maatskappye 'n baie kleiner hoeveelheid aankopers hanteer baie groter volumes met baie minder administratiewe personeel agter hulle. En ek dink ons het op 'n tyd gekom waar dit regtig nodig is vir effektiewe en goeie elektroniese verhandelingsstelsels. Die huidige stelsel waarop fisiese transaksies gedoen word met gesprekke by 'n golfdag of WhatsApp of e-pos of Skype, telefoonoproepe of selfs tenderstelsels, dink ek is baie tyd oneffektief, want 'n aankoper moet of 'n verkoper moet byvoorbeeld met 20 of 30 mense gesels om een transaksie te doen. Hierdie metode vergroot risiko baie, omdat die totale transaksie nie altyd 100 volledig bespreek word nie, en ons ook nie 'n volledige papierspoor wat nagelaat word nie. 'n Voordeel van RMD Physical is, dit gaan 'n massiewe tydbesparing teweegbring vir markspelers, vir al die feit dat die stelsel op jou desktop is en ook op jou foon, Android of ISO beskikbaar is. Ek dink daar gaan 'n massiewe kostebesparing wees en ook 'n vergroting in wins wees, omdat dit gaan beteken dat kopers weens die meer effektiewe stelsel teen 'n laer prys koop en verkopers hopelik teen 'n hoër prys kan verkoop. Die stelsel laat 'n volledige papierspoor na, en is interessant, as jy kyk na die nuwe European Market Infrastructure Regulation, MR verkort, wat bepaal dat daar vanaf April 2024 'n volledige paper trail of papierspoor gaan moet wees vir enige fisiese transaksie. Dink ek, ons het op die punt gekom dat mens nie meer kan besigheid doen soos Suid-Afrika dit die laaste 40, 50, 60 jaar gedoen het aan die fisiese kant nie. En ek weet 'n paar van die maatskappye in Suid-Afrika wat klaar oorsprong en papierspoor vereis, is PepsiCo, Nestlé en Woolworths, En ek dink ons is baie naby aan 'n punt wat jy weens jou hele voldoeningssisteem dit 'n vereiste gaan wees van internasionale maatskappye, maar ook Suid-Afrikaanse maatskappye. Nog 'n groot voordeel, en is iets wat ek baie jare in ons mark al mis, en ek het al baie vir die JSE gevra om dit vir ons te lys, maar hulle het dit nie gedoen nie, is om 'n basis en 'n vaste pryskontrak apart vir mekaar te kan verhandel. En op RMD Physical kan jy op ons IPD genoteerde kontrakte, kan jy basis apart gaan verhandel. En ek dink veral in hierdie uitvoerjare wat basis op jou uitvoerlyne so hardloop, is dit 'n kritiese behoefte vir ons mark. En ek dink ook die ongenoteerde produkte, nie ons groot 6 wat genoteer is op die beurs nie, sal op 'n vaste prysbasis verhandel word, maar om daai twee beskikbaar te hê, dink ek 'n massiewe voordeel vir die mark gee. 'n ander voordeel van RMD Physical is dat ons basies enige wettige produk op die stelsel kan lys en noteer. En met Paul en sy IT-span, ons het dit al getoets. Dit vat so 3 minute as ons die spesifikasie van 'n kliënt kry om 'n nuwe produk te registreer. En nie net 'n plaaslike produk nie, maar ons kan byvoorbeeld CIF Durban trade of FAB Argentinië of palmolie uit Maleisië trade. So al hierdie produkte is beskikbaar op die stelsel. En ek dink daai gaan ook om 'n paper trail van daai te op 'n vaste stelsel gaan 'n massiewe voordeel vir die mark gee. En ons is ons ook opgewonde, en dit het een van ons kliënte het ons op hierdie spoor gekry, is dat ons 'n transportkontrak en kontrakte op die stelsel het, en ons het van eergister af, het ons eerste vervoerkontrakteurs op RMD fisies, wat ek dink ook 'n baie groot behoefte is wat die mark het, en wat saam met jou, sê maar fisiese verhandeling op een platform hanteer kan word. Nog 'n groot voordeel is wat Paul net nou sal demonstreer, is dat daar 'n baie goeie ingeboude risikobestuurstelsel is, en daar's ook 'n ingeboude mark-tot-mark stelsel. En ek dink veral as jy basis koop en die basis styg, en dis 3 maande weg van waar jy hom gekoop het, en hy verhandel R200 hoër. Op die oomblik as jy addisionele finansiering benodig, kan jy nie eintlik met 'n staat gaan en vir iemand sê, maar hier is die waarde van hierdie basiskontrakte nie, of as jou vaste kontrak se waarde gestyg of gedaal het. So ek dink nie net uit 'n bestuursoogpunt nie, maar ook uit 'n finansierings- en 'n risikobeheer vir 'n bank en of na sy kliënte. Is dit 'n massiewe voordeel. En daai mark-tot-mark stelsel word 12 uur in die dag en dan 5:30 in die middag word hy gemerk tot mark. En dan net die laaste voordeel voordat alles bespreek wat Paul ook moet doen, is ons stelsel is verniet. So jy kan al die bids en offers sien, jy kan weet waar die verhandelinge plaasvind. Jy betaal slegs as jy koop of verkoop op 'n, en ek dink dis 'n voordeel dat mens nie 'n maandelikse koste hoef te betaal nie. Dis as inleidend van my kant af. Ek sal graag nou vir Paul wil gee, Dries, dankie. En dan, ja, sal ons altyd beskikbaar wees vir vrae en antwoorde. Ek waardeer die geleentheid, baie dankie.
Baie dankie, Willem. Yes, Paul, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dries, and thank you so much, Hein and Johan and Trudy for organizing today, and of course Willem for being our partner in this venture. I think it was described pretty much completely by Willem already in Afrikaans for the part that I understood. I am not from South Africa, but I'm from the Netherlands, so I understand it a little bit. But I can imagine that if you only speak Afrikaans and I'm going too fast, please just use the reactions part on the bottom of your screen and raise your hand. Then I can either slow down or Willem can make a quick translation into Afrikaans if anything is not clear. Today is absolutely fantastic. The timing is right. I think it's fantastic that GOSA is organizing this, and I really welcome the fact that it's not just RMD Physical, but also Senvest and Match Exchange who are going to present today. And the reason for it is exactly what Willem was saying. The markets are changing. If you need financing, there's going to be a regulatory change that needs to be tackled. And any digital platform is a good thing. So the more the merrier. We all help each other in whether we work together or whether we promote each other's platform or whether we think we are competitors. But to me, it just makes perfect sense. I'm only going to talk about RMD Physical, of course, because that is our platform between RMD Financial and my own company, Paper Trader. But I just want to say there is no bad things on any other platform. Just use whatever you're comfortable with and whatever makes the best fit to your product. And hopefully, of course, that becomes RMD Physical, because we are offering the whole scope, like Willem was saying, from domestic silo markets to port markets, CNF, FOB, and international markets. And I'm personally the most excited about the freight markets that we're launching next week, so that you can actually tender your freight needs, for example, from a silo into Durban port in a fully digital way. So I'm going to share my screen. It's just a few pages initially about what RMD Physical is, and at the end we're going to have a few screenshots of the actual platform. I'll give you some numbers on the amount of markets where we are at that time, but in the meantime, if you got questions, please put them into the chat so Dries can post them to us in the Q&A in a little bit. So like mentioned, the company is called RMD Physical. It's just a JV between two companies, RMD Financial, that most of you know from the futures and options side, and the Paper Trader platform, which is an international platform. And that's also why we can offer other markets than just the South African markets already. Whatever you need, we can set it up, like Willem said, in 3 minutes. If you got counterparties on it, we can set them up or help you set up to really make this a digital tool that helps you. So we're not trying to change the market. We're not trying to overtake the market. We're not trying to cut out the middleman. We're just trying to make everything more traceable, compliant, and efficient. Let me see how we get to the next page. Yep. Okay. So as an introduction, it is an agricultural commodity marketplace, but that doesn't mean we have to stop with agricultural products. We can do any product that is legal and that is available and that you need. So it can be freight, it can be byproducts, it can be metals, it can be coal. But our focus is the agricultural space, and that's why we're on this call today. Grain and oilseeds are our strength, and hopefully we can build it up together in the Southern African space on both our web app, which is the normal dashboard app, and the mobile devices. And I'm going to show you some screens on the mobile devices later on. They look absolutely brilliant, and they make your life very, very easy. So you can put everything on, whether you're in the field, whether you're in an office, when you're traveling, everything is fully linked and help you. And that ensures that you get better pricing because it becomes transparent. You are compliant to all regulatory needs. And the most important thing is there's a trade credit engine embedded. So you will only trade with companies that you can trade with. So if someone hasn't paid their bills to you, immediately you can block them from being able to execute with you on the market. And that gives a good traceability for now and for in the future for your contracts. So what are we trying to do? We aim to optimize trade execution and risk management. That is really what we're trying to do. So again, we're not trying to change the way you trade. We're trying to make the way you trade more efficient and effective to really save a lot of time. As a result, boost your profits and retain full control. Because some companies in the world, they don't really have too good control. They're running their positions on Excel, or they're not really aware of what their counterparty exposure is. We have embedded all that into our marketplace that is being supplied by RMD Financial. So there's no cost to use the marketplace. And like Willem was saying earlier on, it's only on a platform service fee when you execute something on the platform. If you ask me, what are the actual pain points that you are targeting? So what is the added value of using RMD Physical? First of all, trade execution and price discovery. I'll show you a map later on with just the silos that we identified in South Africa. There are hundreds and hundreds of them. So it's very hard to get clear pricing on a basis or on a flat price basis. And as a result, trade execution takes a lot of time and effort. You have to call multiple people for all the different silos. We put everything together for every market that is of your interest, and we put it on the dashboard and help you to make sure that you can find your prices there, negotiate it on the platform, execute it on the platform, and get your whole contractual paper flow going. That results in efficiency gains. It just makes your life a lot easier, but it also results in great controls, because the trader is no longer in charge of setting the limits for him or her, but it's actually the middle office or the risk officers who said, okay, you can trade this product and you can trade with this counterparty up to this volume or this many months forward. And we make sure, the platform makes sure that you can't break those limits, or at least you're being made aware. So we have an extra layer of protection to protect you against fat finger trades, against trades with companies that you're in a dispute with, butt dials on your mobile phone if you're in the bar. We just have a lot of extra protection to make everything easier. And that results in an auditability, which is something that your banks will ask from you. I'm quite certain that you will have been asked, okay, what is your audit trail? How do you get your paperwork done? Can you show us what's going on? And that's one of the next pages, the 2024 April period that Willem was just mentioning. But the most important thing for everybody like you, and I know that you're all extremely busy, and that's why it's great that you made time to call in today, is your time savings. You don't have to call for 10 different markets, 3 different companies anymore. You just put all your indications, whether it's buying or selling on the platform, and that way everything goes through more or less automatically. You're being notified when someone wants to negotiate with you. You're being notified when you've done a deal. And everything automatically shows up in your risk engine on the platform live with those, as were mentioned, twice a day, independently assessed values for your mark-to-market. So the product is basically, it's a marketplace for OTC swaps. It's for basis, it's for financial tools, it's for logistical reasons. If you want to have an audit trail on sustainability certificates, we can put those on. And if you want to trade premium or basis over JSA futures or flat price, both of them are available on the platform already. So just recapping what we provide: a transparent price discovery with traceability, pre-match credit control mechanisms, compliance and oversight, and an embedded counterparty and risk engine. So why would you use RMD Physical? Of course, I'm going to say you need to use RMD Physical, not only because they just win the award of being the best physical delivery broker in South Africa year after year, but also because the tool that we have is the most extensive one in the market currently. We have currently about 143 different markets up, and we expect to grow that to about 400 markets by the end of the month. We have everything in place for your domestic markets, your international markets, your FOB, your CNF markets, but also for the products that don't have any futures listed to it. So one of the products that we've discussed in meetings with people like you in the past is, for example, wheat chop. There is no futures market for wheat chop, so it needs to be a separate market. It can be byproducts from edible oil refining. We talked with one of the big edible oil refiners about the soybean oil, and they have a sludge left after refining. They need to sell the sludge. We can put it on. We've been discussing the export tenders from the ports how we would do that with the SABT. Nothing has been confirmed there, but that's the kind of products that we can put on. So we can be very creative in partnership with you to offer what you need to make your life easier and to save yourself time and thus make more money. The tool enhances traceability. It makes transparent price discovery and deal matching seamless. And it's between your desktop and your mobile phone, so you don't need to log in on the one and log out of the other one. It significantly strengthens your compliance and risk management. And the counterparty part is something that is unique in the market. It's actually unique in the whole world. There's currently, without listed products, there is no tool available yet where you can actually check and set limits on your counterparties to optimize your workflow and your company's exposure. So this is a bit of an overview of some of the competitive products that we're seeing. We're on the top line. RMD Physical is the one that we use as a benchmark. We personally believe we've really built it up properly. Like Willem was saying, I'm ex-Noble, ex-Cargill, ex-Citibank, and I do a lot of advisory work now for a few consulting companies. And my partners who founded the company are ex-Noble as well, but also the global head of Unilever's edible oil business. We basically looked at what we wanted to change in the market. What would make our life as a trader better? What make traceability better? And what would give us a better result at the end of the month? So that's everything that we build into the platform. And there are some competitive platforms. Most of them are focusing on the post-trade business. They don't do the price discovery and the trade execution, but we do. Senvest does as well. Match Exchange does as well in South Africa, of course. So they're great tools to look at. But I think we're the only ones who also have the post-trade part. That is not to say anything bad about Senvest. I think Senvest is a great tool. We can actually execute the Senvest markets on our platform as well if you want to. You link it and you get it cleared or executed on Senvest. The same with the Match Exchange. Match Exchange is focusing more on farmers to silos, and we're focusing more on silos to factories and ports. It's all complementary. There is no competition in our opinion, but we really hope that you're going to use digital platforms for everything that you do in the near future. And the international ones have not been as successful. We were not as successful either as paper trader, because the international markets are not as developed as the South African markets. You guys are just doing a great job, really an awesome job. You're interested in it, you're ready for it. You're registering when it needs to be done. We've already got 17 active companies, and we got about 33 in the pipeline for this month, which is huge. In total, that's going to cover roughly 90% of the South African production already in terms of the companies that we're getting on the platform. So hopefully we get all of you on. The part that I'm excited about, like I mentioned, is the freight component. If we have the freight tenders as well, that takes out your discussions with the trucking company to get it into a silo, or from a silo into a port, or from a port or silo into your factory. And it's basically the same. It's just a commodity. Freight is as much a commodity as maize is, or as wheat is, or as edible oils are. So that's why we added them to it. We're going to start with 10 initial routes, but hopefully we grow those to many more in the near future. Hey, why is it not shifting? Here we go. This is the point on the why now, which is really, really crucial. A lot of people think, well, we'll see. Well, we've always done it this way. It's going pretty successfully. And why would I change? No one is forcing you to change yet. And that's the big thing. In Asia, for all the Asian companies, you've got the Code of Best Practices for Commodity Financing. I spent the last 15 years in Asia, 16 years, mainly in Singapore and in India. There, if you want to get financed by a bank, you need to follow the commodity trade finance advisory, which basically means the bank needs to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and when you're doing it at transaction level. So that is going to mean you need to have an audit trail. That's Asia. South Africa is more focused on the European clients. Most of your suppliers, the shippers into South Africa, most of the big trading hubs, they are Geneva-based companies or Rotterdam-based companies. They're all going to fall under what they call the EMIR refit. On the 29th of April next year, they have to trade in a digital form. There is no avoiding it. So WhatsApp trading is not going to be possible anymore. Voice trading is not really going to be possible anymore. No one can stop you there. So what they need is a platform like one of the three that we're discussing today, or any other platform. But it just means that if a deal is done, if a trade is confirmed, or like we call it, if a price match is made, it needs to be auditable and traceable in a digital form. And that is a huge thing that a lot of companies have not yet started looking at, even though they should. You might say, I'm a South African farmer and I have a huge farm that doesn't apply to me. It might not apply to you, but it will apply to your buyer. If you're selling something to an Olam or a Bunge or a Cargill, you still need to, at some point, stick to this because they need to stick to it. And that's why now is the right time to move into this. And that's why I was so happy that GOSA organized this event today. Let's see if we can switch again. Nope. Our target market for this is South Africa, but in real terms, it's Southern Africa. We already got some markets on in Zimbabwe. We can do any market as long as it's legal and as long as you have counterparties for it. So RMD Physical is a tech tool. We're not part of your deal. We're not part of the market. And that makes us different than for example, a Senvest. We don't take your counterparty risk away. We control your counterparty risk by informing you whenever you're breaking a risk, but we're not becoming part of the deal. So we can do this in any market, whether it's Namibia, Zimbabwe, or any of the other countries around it. We can set it up for you, like Willem was saying, in 3 to 5 minutes. Do we have a lot of traction? Yes, we have a lot of traction. This was April. In May, we've grown another almost 100% already just in the first 10 days of the month. So we're super excited, and we really hope that you become part of our network, of our whole effect. Some of the companies that we're talking to have that registered globally, but also in South Africa. We've done deals already in March. We've done deals in April, and we hope to do a lot more deals to help you guys out in the month of May. What is the RMD partnership? I think that is the beauty of it. RMD is one of the strongest players in the futures and options market, but they were missing part of the physical business. You, as a physical trader, have both legs as exposure. Either you sell at flat price and then you just have one price, or if you want to hedge it, you put it up as a futures price plus basis price. So combined, we were the perfect match. A paper trader, the tech engine has been nominated for some serious awards recently. RMD Financial have won some serious awards recently. And we basically said it makes perfect sense to work together. And together we want to help the market grow and become more efficient and effective. So we're not trying to capture the whole market 100%, not at all. We expect you to do deals still directly. We expect you to do deals on other platforms. We just want to make sure that if you see value in using our platform, it actually becomes a stronger and stronger tool for you. It will help you on your counterparty risk management. It will help you on your P&L engine. The more deals and the more products that are on, the better it is for everybody. And that's what they call in the tech scene a network effect. We just need to get more people on, create liquidity, and then in the long run, everybody will really have a fantastic tool to use. So the next part is where I'm going to show you a few of the visuals on the actual screen. If you're interested afterwards, you can just go to rmd.paper-trader.com, register for a demo there, or you contact the team at RMD, and we're more than happy to share more information with you. And you can also register your company immediately, although I do have to say, don't register if you're a trader. Have someone from middle office or accounting register, because they will set the limits for you. So we've split the responsibility between trade taking and controls as it should be on the platform. First of all, this one. This is the reason why RMD Physical is really needed in the market. When we built the paper trader platform, we were expecting to go into a single country and have maybe 3 or 4 ports and maybe 3 or 4 products. When we started to talk to RMD in October last year, we noticed that there are hundreds of silos, and these are just a few of the silos. There are dozens of ports. There are factories all around, and all of them have multiple products. So they're basically, it's a product location combination is exactly what we call a market. So we've built up something that is making a market possible for your individual silo or for your individual mill or a shared port like Durban. Anything that you want, we can set up. But this is the reason why South Africa is in need of something technical and why we want to step in, because there is basically, and that's why the title, there is too much opportunity in South Africa. And if we add the countries around it, nothing is going to stop Southern Africa to become a leader in terms of tech development and in terms of trade execution. So just to recap this page, and I'm sure you're going to get this presentation shared later afterwards. This is what we're providing. We're providing a clear price discovery, trade execution, fully auditable with instant confirmations without any typos the moment they are done. On the right-hand side, you see 2 examples of markets, but that's basically the same as this. This is how your dashboard will look. And you decide which markets you want to see. So we have it split up in product types. It can be maize, it can be wheat, it can be edible oils, it can be freight, it can be barley, sorghum, rice. All those are already on it. You will see the markets that you need to see. And you will see the little numbers next to things. That basically means the amount of people that are bidding or offering on that particular thing. You click on a price. You will see the whole list of names there that you can trade with. You will see the names also that you can't trade with. They're grayed out. And then you select which company you want to start to negotiate with. The big difference with a futures contract, you don't need to put in a firm price. You don't need to put in volume. You can't just say, I'm a buyer around 50 over and a seller at 70 over on a corn contract. Only when you start to negotiate, you will actually see, you will actually disclose the price and the volume that you want to do. You can do it completely hidden, so you don't need to disclose your name. Or you can disclose your name, depending on your preference. If you don't disclose your name, it will be disclosed at time of negotiation, because this is what they call bilateral risk. So it is between 2 companies. And at any point of time, you need to know who your counterparty is to make sure it works. Once you negotiate something and it becomes a deal, it ends up in your position book. This is the one that you see here. So basically, it shows you exactly all your positions that you have on all your products and all your months. And then you can select it by product name, by counterparty, even by your own trader. Brokerage name, unfortunately, for the brokers on the line today, is always going to be RMD, because it's RMD Physical. And the trade number, if you know the trade number. It has it both in volume and it has it in exposure. So your mark to market, as mentioned, twice a day it's being independently vetted. And you can use this when you talk to your banks or when you talk to your finance company saying, hey, okay, what is my current position in P&L? The same is there also in a visual format. So here you can see very easily for every counterparty, and you can select it the same way, and for yourself, what your exposure is. So you might be short on one product and long on another product. And as you can see on the bottom here, the actual contract is always available. So if you need to know, okay, I traded something last year, October, with company X, you just fill in the company name and you fill in the date, and the actual trade confirmation, so the price match confirmation, is still available. It's all cloud-based. It's going to stay on forever. So you don't have to worry. So you don't have to store dozens and dozens of boxes of paper anymore. The trade confirmation can be used as a contract, although we do recommend that you put your own terms and conditions on it afterwards when you send the contract to your counterparty. And then talking about counterparties, this is a split up on your risk per company. So say you're a silo and you're selling to 5 different companies. You want to know that you're not overselling too much to one company. If someone doesn't pay their invoices on time, you want to sell them less. So this one has an open volume, a net position, and a total P&L per counterparty. It can be selected there as well. So if you're worried about a company and you say, hey, I might want to reduce my exposure a little bit, all you have to do is select the counterparty name. You see exactly what your exposure is on all the deals that you've done on the platform. This is something that even an SAP isn't able to provide properly. The biggest MNCs in the world, and I worked at quite a few of them, they still track this in Excel and they check it on a weekly basis if they're really good and a monthly basis if they're normal. You will have this for free at your fingertips 24/7. Here is your trade log. In case something goes wrong, or in case you want to know who did what and why they did it, every discussion, every negotiation you had on the screen will be available in the trade log. You just type in the unique trade ID, or you type in the counterparty name, and the deals will be there and you can find it out. And the bottom one is quite interesting for the people who manage a team. If you have a team under you with different products, you can actually see the P&L per trader as well. So you can say, okay, you know what? I got five people working on 5 different markets. I want to know how this person did. You select it there and everything is there. So it's a complete risk engine and a complete trade engine. And this is what I'm the most proud of. These are just 3 screenshots from the app. So this is you. You are going to walk through the field. You're going to say, okay, I need to do this. I need to harvest that. I need to go to my silo. I'm on the road. I'm going to this golf event in August and I want to know what to do. Don't worry. You just pick up your phone. You have the whole system available in your app. As you can see on the left-hand side, that is the home screen from the app. You've got your normal quotes on every market that you want to see. So no markets that you don't want to see. All your negotiations are on the screen. Your indications mean they're not firm. It's just saying, okay, I'm a buyer at -10 and a seller at 10 over. That's there. And then you only, once you start to negotiate, it has to become firm. You can put firm orders in, but normally people don't. Your order book, so everything that you're working on the day is going to be there. Your risk analysis, not as complete as on the dashboard, but the risk analysis is going to be there for your total position and your mark to market. And your new orders. And in your new orders, it can be a single order. It can be a bulk order, meaning multiple months in one go, or it can be what we call a block order, which is a direct order to one of your counterparties. If you don't want to have the market know what you traded, or if it's like with special terms and conditions, you just put in a block order. It goes not only to a company, but it goes into an individual trader at a certain company. So for example, if I have a special cargo that I want to sell to Dries, I would select block order, the Tiger, Dries, and it will only go to Dries. And that is really something in a way that people, not only in South Africa, but around the world, tend to work. It's downloadable only for traders because we don't want the control people to be on the app because it's actually risk-taking, but it looks very, very smooth and it's super easy to use. And that is basically the part that I wanted to share with you. And then maybe it's a good thing now to go to the Q&A, if that's okay with you, Willem and Dries.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Yeah, thank you so much. And this is exciting stuff, Paul. It's really, and I like your slide saying there's too much opportunity in South Africa. Yeah, and I mean, in the whole process, we actually become making our industry more effective and more transparent. and it's really making me very excited in terms of what's waiting for us in the future.
Same here, Dries. And it is like I said, South Africa is well ahead of the rest of the world. It's impressive, it's fascinating, and it should be supported. You guys are doing a great job.
Just not on electricity, but yes,
True.
Can I maybe jump in here?
Yes, Willem.
Ask, maybe if Paul can move back to slide 18.
Yeah.
On the presentation, I just want to mention two things that I've had requests and questions on from clients in the last, say, 2 or 3 months. If you go to page 18, basically your bid and offer box, there's that one, please, Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, you can stay there, page 18.
Is this 18?
That's fine. You can just stay there, Paul.
Okay.
That one's fine as well. If you see in the first column, MWB1 Riviet West, and then there's a small blue eye there. If you click on that eye, it gives you the complete contract detail, But if you've got specific requirements for your company or a specific requirement on the sell side, in your negotiation period with your counterparty, you can include any special spec that you need in that, and that then becomes deal of the trade confirmation, and that also becomes the part of the contract then with your counterparty. And I think that's extremely important, because often the finer detail of a negotiation, especially if you're doing 10 or 20 a day, gets lost in translation. And with the fact that you get the trade info or the contract info, but then you can negotiate, say you want 500 tons delivered weekly, you can negotiate that part of the trade info. So if you go 2 or 3 months ahead in line and you get late delivery, you can always go back to that negotiated terms. And I think that's going to be extremely important and take a lot of stress and risk and uncertainty away from physical traders.
No.
Correct. And it also automatically becomes part of the contract. Because if you put in a special term or condition like the one Willem mentioned, your counterparty that you're negotiating with has to approve that one first before they can discuss price. So, and it shows up in the trade confirmation saying, okay, these are the extra clauses that were agreed step by step. Okay, weekly delivery, May onwards, 500 tons per month. And it's been agreed by both, and it's traceable by both. So there can never be a discussion anymore 2 months later is, hey, what did we discuss? Yeah, that's what we discussed. And it becomes fully traceable and part of the trail.
Thanks, guys. There is some questions. One of them is also about counterparty risk. How is it managed? And I think you did touch on it, Paul, but maybe if you can give us some, just revisit it.
Yeah.
So how is it managed, and the default risk as well?
That's a great question, Dries, and thank you for that, for whoever posted it to you. So like I mentioned, we are not part of the trade. So your counterparty risk remains yours. We are what the RMD physical does is we make sure that the companies you see on the platform are who they claim to be. So we check their FICA docs, we check the people that are registered at a middle office manager, we check the traders whether they are real. And if they are real and they are accepted by their counterparties, they can actually put on bids or offers. That doesn't mean that if someone puts a bid and offer on and you hit them on it and you've got a deal, that they will execute it. Your risk is still what you as a company are in charge of. So that makes us different from a Senvest and some of the other ones. It's more risky, but that's because we're not part of the trade itself. We're a trade execution platform. So you will have to FICA your own counterparties. You can check your FICA with the FICA that we have on the platform, and you will set the limits on your counterparty before you can trade. So if, for example, you see Tiger on the platform, you will know it's Tiger because we FICA Tiger that they are the real ones. But it doesn't mean that Tiger will execute with you and honor the contract. So you will still have to set your own limits on it. If you set limits on Tiger, say I want to do 10,000 tons up to 4 months forward and up to 100,000 Rand as mark to market, we will check that against your contracts. So if your contracts are at risk of breaking one of those 3 limits, you as a trader will get notification and your middle office or your risk officer will get notification as well. You can still decide to trade, but it's still your risk. So it's a great question. We don't take away the risk, we just manage the risk with you.
Right, there was a question, maybe the person that asked the question, they asked that there was a comparison done, but if you can just give us just some more detail there, the person that asked the question, I don't understand the context at this stage, but there's another question as well, is will the transport portal be visible on the trading screen?
Yes.
So that as you trade that, you can get a transport component almost at the same time as trading.
Yeah, it will be, I will show it to you how it's going to look. The transport will show up just like a product. So in this case, can you see my mouse, by the way, if I move it?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so this is a flat price contract, right? It's in Rand, so it's don't look at the price, but this is a flat price contract. This one is a basis contract, so you will need to do the futures against it as well. And this is a trucking contract. So we will make the transport the same way as a physical products contract. So basically we would say, okay, in this case, we know it's white maize, right? But in the trucking, you don't really care what the product is. You just say, okay, I need freight from Viljoenskroon to Durban, and I need it in June. So here you will put in, I need 500 tons, which is 10 trucks or 20 trucks, to go in June from Viljoenskroon to Durban. Whatever you as a buyer put in those trucks, that you don't negotiate, or you put it into the specs later on. But if you are a Durban buyer, right, and you say, okay, I want to get this price because here I can sell it. You can actually buy this one, you can buy the freight, and you can trade the futures, and you can trade the whole arbitration between it. So great question. So freight, we just see as another commodity. So whether it's maize or whether it's wheat or whether it's freight, they will be set up at the same dashboard and the same platform.
Okay, thank you so much. Right, I don't know if there's any other questions. I think we're right on schedule. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much, Willem. I think I must say I'm very excited about your system. And it's amazing the functionality that you have. And okay, just hold on the side. We've got some clarity on that previous question. So the person I was asking about the comparison slide, who ranked those competing companies? Was it independently done?
Me. I did it because it's my business, right? I know exactly what it is. I've tried and tested them all. All of them have great tools, and like I said, we should not try to stop anyone from coming up with more platforms. I think we should have more platforms. We should have more different ways to trade, and in the end, there will be a few left, or a few will merge, or a few will work together. And we've already had talks with Match Exchange, right? Because Match Exchange is doing a great job in a similar market as we do, but from a different angle. They go up to farmer level, we start from silo level. So there is no reason to compete. I think if I go out and I'm positive about Senvez and Match Exchange, it just helps to create awareness of the need to digitize the way we execute deals.